We have things. There are things to do. We are busy. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to ChicKnitChronicles. My name is Tiffany, and I figured this week what I would talk about. I would give a deep dive into my sweater number 9 light by my favorite things knitwear. This is the DK weight version. I chose to do mine in fingering weight and mohair. The fingering weight is Meadowcroft Dyeworks, and their Rock Shelter sock is the base, and the colorway is Mas d'Afrique. And the mohair I used was Rowan Haze, and the color is Bark, and I believe the number is 674. I know I've talked about this sweater a lot, but as I was going through and when I'm watching other people's podcasts, I find that I do enjoy when they do a deep dive on a particular sweater that they like and to find out the reasons why and how things differ, and when it actually comes down to wearing it, the reality of how useful or how well a piece fits into their wardrobe. So I decided to do that for this one because since I've made it, I have worn it quite a bit. The gauge for the sweater, I wrote down, I have notes. Okay, so the gauge for the sweater was 20 stitches for 4 inches, which is pretty standard DK weight gauge. And my gauge came out to about 19 or 20, so it was pretty bang on. The sweater came out to about 50 inches around, and I believe the closest size was like a 49, so thereabouts. And that is on my give or take 40-inch bust. The sweater itself ranges from extra small to 4XL, which is 106 centimeters to 152 centimeters, which corresponds to 41.75 inches to 59.5 inches. So almost entirely, size inclusive. Comes pretty close. The sweater the pattern photo is DK weight with no mohair, and it's the Gepard Perlana, which I quite like, and I am considering making one that is just in plain DK by itself without the mohair. And in total, for my sweater, I used 3.17 skeins of the fingering weight, which comes out to about 1,268 yards. And for the Kitsil Haze, I used about 4.5 skeins, which comes out to about 1,005 yards. And I used a size US6, which is a 4 millimeter for the body, and a size US4, which is a 3.5 millimeter for the ribbing. And in total, the sweater took me about 17 days to knit, mostly because I was obsessing over it. And I'm pretty sure when I knit it, this was the only thing that I knit. I don't think I was working on anything else when I was working on this one. I like the way this sweater fits me in the sense of I find that I don't really like more than about 6 inches of positive ease, even when I'm doing an oversized sweater. Beyond 6, for me, I just feel like what's happening here? Like it's just a tent, right? For me. And even that is a change because there was a time where like I didn't do ease at all. Like I wanted no more than like 2 inches. Like I wanted it to fit, and that was it. But in my experimentation with ease and the things that I find that I like, it definitely comes down to, for me, 6 is about my max. That 10 and 12 and 14, can't do it. It is not for me. The sweater, I would say, has held up fairly well. There is like some pilling. You can kind of see that there. I've intentionally not gleaned it. I have not cleaned it up because I wanted you guys to see. This is probably the most like wear that you'll see in it, are like some of these fuzz balls here that need to be gleaned off. But I have found that in general, it's a really hardy sweater. It works, it stands up to wear and tear and life. Um, I'm talking tossing it on to run to Walmart, lounging around the house in it. The baby and her very sticky hands are like coming for me, and it survived. It has stood the test of I'm functional, right? This is not something that I've had to significantly baby and be afraid of. In the time it has been since I have finished this sweater, it has, I wouldn't say it's been through the ringer, but it's it's been through some things. It's been through some things. Um, I really do enjoy it. The one thing that I would say, and it's kind of an issue with I've noticed just in general with mock necks, and I don't know if a different yarn combination would be different. Um, is that like I don't you can kind of see like there's like a crease right here, and when I'm wearing it, sometimes I'll notice that it'll like bend or fold a little bit right there. But I think that's just the softness of the yarn. I think if I were to use a yarn that was a little stiffer, it wouldn't give and it wouldn't have that crease. But other than that, honestly, this is great. I'm glad that this one has short rows because I believe the original, which is it's an Aran to bulky weight, doesn't have short rows in it. But as we talked about before, I'm a short row gal, so I do appreciate that this one has short rows. I do like the detail on the raglan. The way it's done, it's really nice, and it creates a nice detail when you're wearing it. Just a little visual interest. It's the subtle details that make a sweater like this one that you reach for, because while it is at its core, this is a basic brown winter sweater. It's those nice little details that make you reach for it, that makes it feel a little more intentional, you know. So I really like the sweater. Um, and it's funny, every time I go to wear this, because the mohair is like it's a true chocolate brown, right? So in my mind, this sweater is really dark, right? But then when I go to put it on with like darker boots, I just realize how it's more of a medium brown when it's actually next to a dark brown. Um, so like that was confusing for me at times when I was trying to pair it or wear it with things. But I like the sweater very much. I do think that it is one that I would knit again. It has created a very good staple sweater for me. Um, I also did I put a couple of outfits together so that I could show you guys, like, kind of like the options on like how it wears and like what makes sense and how it actually has incorporated into my life. Um, in the first one that I will put here so you can see, um, I had on some like cream off-white sweatpants and my Uggs, and I was running to the store. Like that is my like I just need to run out of the house really quick because I forgot to get broccoli or something to make dinner. Um, so that one is it gets a lot of wear in that kind of sense. Um, if you were wanting to wear it to work, there was little bits of red in there, which I think are great. So I paired it with some red slacks, and I think that's a really good option just to inject some color because brown and red actually works really well together. I put on some wide leg jeans, and maybe you want to go out, maybe you want to put in just a little bit more effort, some coordinating sneakers, that works out. And then also, which is usually my life, is like mom on the go, right? Because I got on my cargo skinnies and some sneaks and we're out the door because we have things. There are things to do. We are busy, right? Um, and then I also had on And then another outfit, I had a different pair of jeans because your girl's gonna put on some jeans. That I'm a jeans girl. Like at my core, I am a jeans girl. And like an oversized tote, like we have things to do. We're busy, right? Um, and just in general, I find that this was a good choice for me. This is a staple. This is a sweater that was worth the time and money that went into it because the cost per wear, I mean, at this point, it's almost already paid for itself with the amount of times I've worn it. And I've been talking about the sweater since I started the podcast, right? So, like, that's how much I really, really, really enjoy this sweater. Like, it's a good one. It was a good option. It was a good combination. It is one that there are no regrets with this one. Everything went just right. I was glad that I went and got that extra skein because originally I only had um, 3 skeins of the fingering, thinking it would be enough. I ended up having to go a little bit into the fourth. I actually had to go and buy a fourth, but totally worth it. And then I used the leftovers and I put it in a Musselbrugh hat. Um, let me go get that. I'll show you. The yarn that was left, I put into a Musselbrugh from by Isolde Teague, um, and which was a great option for me just to use what was left. But generally speaking, as you can see, the fingering weight of that yarn, it really is pretty. Like, it's a really nice neutral in and of itself. So I'm glad I have something that is the yarn without the mohair, but it's really pretty and it's a good option if you're looking for a good basic DK weight sweater that is not a super tight gauge. It's a pretty standard DK weight gauge. It is definitely a really, really good option. Um, yeah. Oh, what I'm wearing. I am wearing my sweatshirt by from Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and it says knitting, libations, and good vibrations. I love this sweatshirt. I wear it all the time. I definitely want them to have more colors. If you guys see this, more colors, like a good berry. Y'all know I love a good berry. A berry color would be great. Um, but yeah, so that is all things sweater number 9 light. Um, I hope that was helpful. And this is going to be, I guess it's a much shorter video than usual, but I felt like it deserved its own, spot in the sun. It was definitely worth it. All right, you guys, have a good one.